ويجب عليه حفظ جميع جوارحه. ثم بين ابتداء اللسان والنظر، ثم بعد ذلك قال جميع الجوارح.
And then after that he said, he clarified the tongue and the eyes, and he gave the examples. Now we see the examples. And then after that he said, and the rest of the limbs.
الجوارح التي تعصي الله تعالى 7.
And the limbs that disobey Allah are 7.
على قدر أبواب جهنم 7.
Just as the doors of hellfire are 7.
7 كأبواب الجحيم في الحدود فرع جميعها وألزمها السدد.
As it was stated, as Zarruq said, that you need to be a shepherd over, you need to mind and watch over these 7 limbs that are in accordance with the 7 doorways of hellfire. The 7 ways to enter into hellfire are your 7 limbs.
ومن عصى بواحد منها فقد فتح باب من وقيد قد وقع.
That if a person is disobedient from one of his limbs, then he has opened one of the doors of hellfire for himself.
ما هي السبعة؟
What are these 7 limbs?
اليدان والرجلان والعينان.
The 2 eyes, the 2 feet, and the 2 hands, the 2 feet, and
الأذنان هي كلهم عبارة عن واحد. اليد والرجل لأنه بمعنى واحد.
Okay, the hands,
والرجل,
the feet,
والفرج,
the privates,
والسمع,
the hearing,
والبصر,
the ears meaning the eyes,
والبصر والبطن,
and the stomach,
والقلب هو أصلها.
and the heart, which is the root of all of it.
Can you repeat them again, please?
هي اللسان واليد والرجل والفرج والبطن والقلب.
The tongue, the eyes, the ears, the stomach, the hands, the feet, and the heart.
This is 8.
No. الرجل.
The hands, the feet, the tongue, the eyes, the ears, the privates, and the heart.
What about the stomach? The stomach,
The stomach.
نعم هذا ليس مشكلة. يقول الأصل هو القلب. فهي 7 والقلب هو الآمر.
So 7, and then the heart is what commands them, in fact.
هو الأمير والمسيطر.
The heart is the one who is in charge.
هو اللي يأمر والأمير. وأصلها القلب.
And the root of it all is the heart.
هي القلب لا يفعل شيء هو فقط آمر يعني.
The heart is not doing anything, rather it is the one commanding all of those things. The heart is relaxed and just telling those to do what they're doing.
يعمل الرعية.
The general.
يشغل الرعية.
The general who is commanding his troops. The leader who is commanding his followers.
ولذلك قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا إن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي.
As the Prophet ﷺ says, indeed in the body is a morsel of flesh. If it is corrected, then the rest of the body becomes corrected, and if it is corrupted, the rest of the body becomes corrupted. Indeed it is the heart.
وأن يحب لله.
And that he loves for Allah.
أن يحب المرء لا يحبه إلا لله.
As one of the conditions of tasting the sweetness of Iman is to love another individual, to love other individuals, only loving them for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
وكم تحبون ناسا لأنهم عرب وأنهم أفغان وأنهم أمريكان.
And how many people do you love because they are Arabs or Afghans or
لو جاءكم نبي من غير الأفغان لا تقبلونه.
that if a prophet from other than the Afghans came to you, you would not accept them.
ولو جاءكم نبي من غير العرب لا تقربوا.
Or if a non-Arab prophet came to you, you would not accept them.
ولو جاءكم جميع الأنبياء من غير أمريكا وليس بهم نبي ما قبلتموه.
And if all of the prophets came to you without, but they're not in accordance with America and they're not,
وليس
following
منهم
America,
نبي. وليس منهم نبي. وليس حقيقة منهم نبي.
and of
لو
course,
جاءكم جميع الأنبياء من غير أمريكا وليس بهم نبي ما قبلتموه.
and you would not accept those prophets if they didn't come from America. And of course, in America, there is no prophet. So.
من أنكم لا تقبلون القرآن.
That means you do not accept prophets.
ها أعلم أن العرب والعجم من غير أمريكا إذا جاءهم واحد يحمل جواز أمريكي يقدمونه على غيره.
I know the Arabs, and you know this, that in the non-Arabs, if somebody comes to them in their countries with a American passport, they'll prefer them over everyone else. And they would be given complete respect for that passport.
هذا معناها يحب المرء للباسبور ما يحبه لله.
That means that they love others for their passport, not for Allah.
الورقة.
A paper.
استغفر الله من أحب أحد الورقة.
I seek Allah's.
وكم تحبون أحدا للدقري. كم تحبون أحدا لشهادة الزور.
I seek Allah's forgiveness for loving somebody for a paper. And how many people are loved because they have a degree? That this degree now gives them value as a human being, and it's a degree which in Arabic is a shahada, when in reality it is which means a testimony, which in reality it's a false testimony. You love a person for a false testimony, for a haram, a lie, a deception. That now, rather than this condition of iman, of loving others only for the sake of Allah, loving others only for the sake of haram.
That's who. ألا بئس هذا العصر عصرك يا دهر وبئس المساء والصبح والظهر والعصر. ألا بئس هذا العصر عصرك يا دهر وبئس المساء والصبح والظهر والعصر. الشاعر قال لا بئس هذا العصر.
The poet said that what a terrible era we are in. Our generation is the worst generation. And in Arabic, asr means a period of time, a generation, an era.
وبئس المساء والصبح والظهر والعصر.
He said, and this is the worst evening and morning.
الظهر والعصر والصبح جميع الأوقات.
All of the times.
تعاطوا ضلالات تصد عن الهدى فما هي إلا الفحش والفسق والنكر.
The people have taken as their
ضلالات تصد عن الهدى
misguidances,
فما هي إلا الفحش والفسق والنكر.
Barriers, they have ascribed to themselves and habituated themselves in all types of misguidances that are nothing but shamelessness.
تزيوا بزي الروم جهلا بشرعهم.
And evil doing and
تزيوا تخلقوا بأخلاق النصارى واليهود الروم.
That they have adorned themselves
تزيوا بزي الروم جهلا بشرعهم.
With the adornment, meaning that they have copied the habits and the behaviors and the clothing of the West.
جهلا بشرعهم.
Ignorant of their own deen.
فما هذه الأعراف إلا خسر.
This culture then is only loss, it's only failure.
أن يحب لله ويبغض لله.
That a person then must love for the sake of Allah and hate for the sake of Allah.
وكم تكرهون واحدا بغير سبب.
And how many people do you hate without a valid reason?
إنه من هؤلاء القوم دون هؤلاء القوم.
That because he's from this tribe or this nation and not from that one.
لا لسبب ما عنده سبب.
For no reason, no valid reason.
قال الشاعر أنتم تكرهون الفقراء والمساكين ما عندهم سبب. مساكين تكرهون الفقراء والمساكين ومن لا يحمل الشهادة وما عنده سبب. ما مسكين هو قد يكون أطيب من يمشي على وجهه.
That you hate a person simply for being poor.
وما يحمل الشهادة.
Or he doesn't have a degree. That you belittle this person, like who is this guy?
لا عنده سبب. قد يكون هو أحسن الناس
أخلاقا. You
أخلاقا.
hate this person and you belittle them and you demean them simply because they don't have money or they don't have a degree or whatever it may be, and they could be such a kind and decent individual.
كما يقول الشاعر يمشي الفقير وكل شيء ضده والناس تغلق دونه أبوابه.
That, as the poet said, the poor man walks while everything is against him, and people close their doors as he passes by.
وتراه ممقوتا وليس بمذنب تراه مكروها
And you see him hated while he hasn't done any
وليس
crime.
ويرى المذلة لا يرى أسبابها.
And he sees the humiliation without any of its causes.
لا يعرف من أين جاءت ما هذا السبب.
What's the cause?
هو
What's the
يقف
reason?
مسكين في الشارع ما هي الأسباب التي يذلون الناس.
That the poor guy is standing in the street. Why are people
كل
humiliating
واحد
me?
ينظر إلي هل أنا فعلت ذنب؟
Did I do something wrong?
حتى الكلاب إذا رأت رجلا فقيرا ماشيا كشرت نبحت وكشرت اليابة.
And even the dogs, while the poor man is walking, they bark at him and show their fangs.
هذا ابتلاء من الله تعالى.
Show their canines.
هذا
This
ابتلاء
poor
من
guy
الله.
is being tested.
هذا
Calamity from Allah.
ابتلاء من رب العالمين. اسمعوا حالكم أيها المسلمون. هذا ضحك التعجب.
Listen to your state.
هذا ضحك التعجب وضحك الاستهزاء.
This laughter that you're laughing at this state. This is the laughter of shock. This is the laughter of sorrow.
اسمعوا دعاء رسول رب العالمين. اسمعوا دعاء رسول رب العالمين.
Listen to the dua of the messenger of the Lord of the world.
ماذا يدعو به؟
What did he ask Allah?
اللهم إني أسألك فعل الخيرات.
Oh Allah, I ask you to do good, all types of goodness,
وترك المنكرات
and to leave all types of evil,
وحب المساكين.
and to love the poor,
وحب المساكين.
and to love the poor. I ask you for the love of the poor.
فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين.
The doing of the good, the abandonment of the evil, the hatred of the evil, and the abandonment of the evil, and the love of the poor.
وماذا قال الله تعالى له في حق المساكين؟
And what did Allah tell the Prophet ﷺ in terms of the
قال له
poor, the rights
واصبر
of the poor?
نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه الفقراء والمساكين.
And patiently
أبو
hold
هريرة
yourself.
وجماعة الذين ما عندهم شيء.
And patiently hold yourself with those who call their Lord in the mornings and the evenings,
أصحاب الصفة ما عندهم ماء ولا شراب ولا لبن ولا أكل.
seeking His pleasure, seeking His countenance, calling to Allah morning and evening. They don't have any food or drink or
أو يقال لهم الصفة أصحاب الصفة ساكنون في قلب المسجد النبوي.
Ashab al-Sufa, such as Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that lived behind the Masjid al-Nabawi. They had no place to live and nothing to
يدعون
eat.
ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه.
What was their task in life? Calling to the Lord in the morning and the evening,
يريدون
seeking His
رضا الله.
pleasure, seeking the pleasure of Allah.
ولا تعد عيناك عنه.
And do not turn your eyes away from them.
تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا.
Seeking the bounties or seeking the adornment of this world.
ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه.
And do not obey the one who we have made his heart heedless of our remembrance, and he has followed
وكان
his
أمره
desires,
فرطا.
and his matter is in
هذا
entirety
حال
lost.
أغلب الأغنياء. هذا هو حال الأغنياء.
And this is the case of most of those who Allah has given worldly
وقد
enrichment.
أخبركم رب العالمين عن ذلك.
And Allah has mentioned this. And
قال إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى والطغيان تجاوز الحد.
Allah says, no, indeed, the human transgresses once you see them feel needless, once you see them think that their needs are met and they don't need Allah anymore. Astaghfirullah. That they transgress beyond the boundaries.
ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا.
Allah said, do not turn your eyes away from those people, those poor people who
وكم
have no
تحبون
worldly thought.
هؤلاء الأوصال أصحاب هؤلاء الأوصال.
Do not turn your eyes away from them, seeking the adornment of this world, and do not obey the one whom we have made his heart heedless from our remembrance, and he has followed his desire, and his whole matter is in loss. That last description, how many people who fit that description do you love and try to
غالبكم
please?
لا يحب إلا هذه الأوصال.
Most of you only love the people who their hearts are filled with those second attributes.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم معصوم لن يقع منه هذا. فما هي النتيجة من الأمر؟
And the Prophet ﷺ, of course, he would never do this.
معصوم.
And he is free from sin, he is sinless.
فمن هو المأمور بذلك؟
So who then is being commanded
نحن
by
هم
this verse?
المأمورون.
We are the ones who are being commanded.
يا أيها النبي اتق الله. من هو المأمور؟
Oh Nabi, have taqwa of Allah. Who's being commanded?
هل هو غير متق؟ حاشا من ذلك.
Is the Prophet ever not having taqwa of Allah?
هذا أمر
Far from that. This is impossible.
هذا أمر للرعية.
So this is a command for the followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
ويرضى له ويغضب له.
And he continues, and he is pleased with something, with a thing. He accepts something and pleased with something for the sake of Allah, and he dislikes other things for the sake of Allah.
ويأمر بالمعروف وينهى عن المنكر.
Or he's happy for the sake of Allah and angry for the sake of Allah, and he enjoins in that which is good and he forbids that which is evil.
لكن الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر له شروط.
But the commanding of good and the forbidding of evil has conditions. And
أولا غير
prerequisites.
العالم بالحكم.
First of all, a person must know the ruling to forbid evil.
ويعلم أنه مجمع عليه.
He must know the rule to forbid evil or to enjoin good. He must know the ruling. He must know that this ruling is agreed upon. There's consensus upon this ruling.
وألا تترتب عليه مفسدة.
And that this enjoining in good or forbidding in evil, that this will not cause any a greater harm.
على سبيل
Or
المثال.
any harm.
على سبيل المثال.
For example,
كم سألني من الناس أن أعين أشخاصا أئمة مضلين الآن.
how many people have asked me to specify the misguiding leaders of today, the speakers, the people who are spreading lies and
ويقول لماذا ما تخصصهم واحدا واحدا.
and they say, why don't you specify them and
وهم
name them?
معروفون عندنا أوصافهم في الفيسبوك واليوتيوب وفي.
Well, we know them, we see them on Facebook and on the internet and in places and so on.
وتهم لو عينتهم ماذا يترتب على ذلك؟
I said, if I specified them, if I named them, what harm would come?
هل سيتغير الناس وهم سيتغيرون؟
Would people change? No. Would those people change? The speakers? No.
سيقع فساد في الأرض.
What would happen is more corruption.
هذا يجوز.
So it's not allowed.
نعم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اذكروا الفاجر بما فيه لكن إذا لم يترتب على ذلك مرتبة.
Yes, the Prophet ﷺ said,
يحذره الناس.
mention the transgressor with that which is with him, what evil he is doing. That person is doing this evil. So
ليحذره الناس.
so that people can be warned of that person's evil.
ولكن ماذا سيقع؟ ما سيحذر الناس سيؤدي الناس للزيادة بالمعصية.
But this would not cause people to pay heed. This would lead people to increase them in their disobedience.
لأن العلماء غير موجودين فكل سيقول هذا قوله وهذا قولك ولماذا تفرق المسلمين.
Because the scholars are not found today, so then people.
وليس موجودا من يميز بين العالم والجاهل.
So there's no one even who is able to distinguish between the scholar and the ignorant person anyways. So then they're accepting the ignorant people as scholars that say, oh, well, how do you know better? They're a scholar, you're a scholar. Well, they're saying one thing and then you have a different opinion.
لا أنتم عامل عقولكم أعطاكم الله عقول وأعطاكم بلاد.
So then you have to use your brains. Allah gave you brains or He gave you stupidity?
أعطاكم بلاد. أعطاكم بلاد.
He's given most of you lack of intellect.
ناس يأتون من كل بلد عين فلان قلت ما يدري هؤلاء يعتقدونه أعلم مني وأعلم من شيخي وأعلم من كل ما أعرف.
People, they come and they say, oh, specify, name those names. No, those people, if I name that name, those people that
هم يعتقدون أنهم يعلموا مشايخ.
The people that are listening to that person, they think that person is more knowledgeable than the sheikhs of my sheikh. Like, why would they listen to me over this person that they have idolized? So rather clarify the truth with clear proofs so that the one who wants guidance will have it displayed in front of him.
ولكن النهي عن المنكر والأمر بالمعروف لا يصلح له 99 من الناس.
So the commanding of good and the enjoining of good and the forbidding of evil is something that 99% of people are not capable of doing.
لا. قال الشاعر خلق الله للحروب رجالا ورجالا لقصعة من جريد.
The poet said that Allah has created some men capable of the most severe of warfare, and Allah has created other men for a plate of food.
الطعام والشراب.
that are suited for plates of food, and that's it, for eating and drinking.
هاي هو الغالب.
And this is the majority.
رجال الحروب نادر.
The men of battles, they're very rare.
نادر. من يدخل الحرب ويعمل مشاكل ويعمل حروب وينجح هذا نادر.
The one who
من
is
يدخل
capable.
الحرب وينجح هذا نادر.
The one who is capable of entering into those trials and those battles and coming out successful are very few.
نادر. هي حروب.
These are battles.
ويأمر بالمعروف وينهى عن المنكر ويحرم عليه الكذب. أعوذ بالله مما نحن فيه من الكذب.
He said that he must enjoin in good and forbid evil and stay away from lying and
أعوذ بالله مما نحن فيه من الكذب.
and I seek Allah's protection and refuge from all of the lying that we are surrounded by.
الكذب هو الإخبار بعكس ما تعلم. تتعلم.
Lying is informing people of the opposite, telling people the opposite of what you know is true.
والغيبة هي ذكرك أخاك بما يكره. ولو عاد تعلم أنه لا يحبه في غيبته.
And backbiting is mentioning something about your brother that you know they wouldn't want to be mentioned, even if it's something good, even if it's something fine, to mention something that a person would hate to be mentioned about them. To mention
قال الإمام النووي كقولك واسع الكل ولا يريد أن أقول
that Imam al-Nawawi, he said such a saying, this person has wide sleeves, and he doesn't want you to mention that about them. That's backbiting.
في نفسه وفي أهله وفي بيته وفي كلبه حتى كلبه.
And mentioning somebody, not just even himself, or mentioning his house or his family or whatever, or his dog in a way that is displeasing to him.
والنميمة.
And slander.
كم من النميمة ينقله الآن بعض عن البعض.
How much slander and gossip do people carry?
المجتمع الإسلامي نميمة وكذب وغيبة.
The Muslim society is slander, gossip, and backbiting.
غيبة ونميمة.
And lying.
والبغض.
And hatred.
ورؤية الفضل على الغير.
And exalting oneself over others and seeing oneself as better than others.
هذا هو الحال.
This is the state of people.
الكبائر الكذب والنميمة والغيبة والبغض ورؤية الفضل على الغير.
The major sins, the lying, the hatred, seeing arrogance, exalting oneself over others, carrying tales, backbiting, gossiping.
الولائم هذا والمساجد هذا والمراكز هذا.
This is what's going on in weddings, this is what's going on in centers and masjids, this is what's happening.
He can rule his community to do it. هو يدعو المجتمع كله والمجموعة ستبدأ في الغيبة وتخرج عن الغيبة.
A person gathers their whole community so that they could do backbiting.
يبدأون بالغيبة ويختمون بها.
Beginning by backbiting, gathering upon backbiting, and concluding upon.
وبرؤية الفضل على الغير.
And with thinking that they're better than everyone else.
كل واحد ينظر إلى عائلته.
And
هو يلتفت إلى عائلته. نحن أحسن منهم ألواب وأحسن منهم سيارات.
And everyone turns to themselves, you know, me, my daughter, my family, look, we have better cars than them, we have better clothes, and so on. We have, look at our wedding party, had, you know, it was better than theirs. You know,
he accounted from his beginning life. يحسب من يوم مولده من الولاء ولأجل يجعل وليمة بنته.
And he will keep track of the weddings of everyone from the moment he was born, from the day he was born, to make sure that his daughter's wedding is better. So he can exalt himself above that.
هذا صحيح؟ هناك واحد أعطينا هذا. أعطيني بهذا الطويل، هذا الطويل. longer. You have. عندنا واحد. هذا كله حرام وكذلك الاستماع إليه حرام.
All all of this is haram, as is listening to it.
حرام الاستماع إليه.
It is haram to even listen to all of these things, not just to
وكل
say them.
منطق وفعل حضر يجب كف السمع عنه والبصر.
And all the things that are forbidden to do and to say, you must turn away your ears and your eyes from. You cannot look at haram or hear haram.
واحد يقول أنا ما أغتاب وهو يسمع الغيبة. المستمع أحد المغتابين. أنا ما أنم ويسمع النميم. هذا النم
A person says, I don't backbite, but he listens to backbiting. He's one of the backbiters then. A person says, I don't slander, and he's a party to slander. Then he's slandering.
ولا يفعل الزنا ولكن ينظر الناس يزنون في التلفاز.
That he doesn't say, I don't commit zina, but then he watches people committing zina on the screens.
هو لا يمس النساء ولكن يرى الشباب في التلفاز وفي الشارع ينظر لهم.
He doesn't touch women,
but
he watches people who are doing so. In the screens and in public.
كما قلنا هذا من التعود، كثرة التعود تنسيك الحرام، ألا أنك تعلم وأنت جاهل حقيقة.
That as we said, a person being habituated to something makes you forget that that thing is even haram, and that's even if you're able to recognize haram while you're in a state of ignorance.
لكن حقيقة نحن أكثر الحال جهل.
But in reality, we're not even aware of the haram that we're committing.
والكبر.
And arrogance.
تفضل.
ما الفرق بين الغيبة والنميمة؟
النميمة نقل كلام الغير على وجه الإفساد، نقل سر الإنسان كلامه تخبر به الآخرين، والغيبة هو أن تتكلم في أخيك في غيبوبته.
So the ghiba is to speak about somebody in their absence, to backbite them, to speak about something.
ولو شيء واضح لكل الناس.
Even if it's something everybody knows about this person, to speak about somebody's evil.
والنميمة هي نقل سر الغير إلى الغير.
But namima, gossip is to spread something that is secret about that person, about something that person said in private, to secretly spread this about the person.
Ghiba is also in front of the person. Because you just said
that criticizing somebody to their face, that's not backbiting. But it's worse than backbiting. Some scholars said that it's worse than backbiting. To insult somebody like that.
لأن فيها غيبة وزيادة. غيبة معناتها تخبر بالآخر شيء يؤذيه وبعد ذلك زيادة تؤذيه في وجهه.
Because they said that it has the same evil of the backbiting because you're informing others about something this person doesn't like, and on top of this you're causing hurt to that person by doing it in their face.
Slander or gossip?
Namima is gossip then. Gossip.
والكبر.
النميمة هو ليس كذب عن الناس.
لا نأكل بهتان.
So it's like, gossip is even something that's true, but you're carrying
ذاك هو النميمة. Something true, something حقيقي, شيء حقيقي. ذاك هو النميمة.
To carry gossip. This is the
وما ذلك بهتان.
Namima is also spreading rumors.
Rumors. فإن كان كذب
لا بهتان.
بهتان. Actually,
فوق النميمة. لا فوق النميمة.
There's a distinction. If it's the rumors are true, and it's just you're spreading those rumors, then it's namima. But if it's not true, then it's buhtan. It's a lie as well, which is an extra additional sin.
That would be slander.
That's slander.